Hi friends, we're in Quantum Jumping 17, and occasionally I'll put pictures behind me. The one that you see to the left there is my version of Vincent's bedroom. Change the colors a bit. And the one directly behind me is something that I was just kind of fooling around with. I thought I'd paint an abstraction for a change. I do dwaddle sometimes, painting dwaddles. This isn't particularly a dwaddle, it's just an abstraction. I mean, if you feel like you want to be happy, look at it, let your eyes run around it, it'll probably make you happy because I painted it in kind of a silly mood. May make you feel silly. No title to it, just an abstraction. I want to start painting, and I haven't painted for a while. And those of you who've gone to my art site know that I've got a couple of hundred paintings and canvases that I've finished. But it's something that I took out of, no dwaddles this time. Well, unless you want to call that a dwaddle. That's up to you. Could be whatever you believe it to be. Remember, our bywords are what you believe to be is. And we only have good things. Believe it. Okay. On Facebook, I had an interesting comment, and I thought I'd pass it on to you with my answer. It's from Amy Lundquist. And she says, it is interesting, talking about quantum jumping. My daughters talk about using their portals to go in and out. The door could be a portal. It is a portal, actually. I don't call it that, but maybe we should. I ordered your program, and it's just about spot on to what they are doing. My 8-year-old can't get enough, and she's visiting her cat and grandmother that have passed on. Yeah, I like to hear that, because people grieve, and there's no reason to, because here's a way to visit the ones who've gone on to the other side. She is also listening to the audios with me. My older daughter is a bit hesitant, but I am working with her. She's very much an empath and could use some guidance. I am committed to staying with this and moving upward and onward. Thank you. Well, thank you. Well, I'm going to read my reply, although you can see it on Facebook, but some of you maybe don't want to go there. You're watching the video. Why don't I answer right here? Here's my answer. You're off to a great start. And this is for all of you people who have children. You know, quantum jumping is not just for adults. It's wonderful for children. It's going to be a great help to them in school. But here's my answer. You're off to a great start. Instead of criticizing your children for too much daydreaming, as many of us do, you're training them to use that skill as a positive resource in their lives. Your 8-year-old seems comfortable with the concept, but remind her that what she brings back to this reality is the satisfaction that her cat and her grandmother have only ended existence on this plane, and that there's another plane of existence of great mystery to most of the world. Now take that skill and allow it to develop a high degree of learning when she takes on a new subject. With history as an example, she can visit a doppelganger who lives in the country that she's studying. Isn't that a wonderful thing for a child to be able to do? Wow. With mathematics, she can get help from a self who's good at that subject. At the very least, it will help her as far as her own confidence is concerned, and she'll take on projects that perhaps were beyond her before. Your older daughter can visit with successful empaths or strengthen the skill by visiting other people and seeing how they acquire the attitude that they have. Children have a natural affinity for daydreaming. Quantum jumping isn't daydreaming, but it uses the daydreaming mechanism to visit other parallel universes where their doppelgangers, their twin selves, are whatever they want to be. For history, it's wonderful. I recently wrote a book, Zyclo. I'll have to put it. I'll put a couple of chapters on my site that some of you are familiar with. I'm not going to mention any more than that because it wouldn't be fair until I put it on there. But Zyklon is a historical fantasy. It's about a man and a woman who travel through the centuries. They have a lifespan of 2,500 years. How they got that lifespan is a story in itself. And they are affected and affect historical events. Now, the history in it is accurate. The Mongols, when they were raging through Europe, as an example, what made them go back? What made them turn away when they were about to take on Christendom? Well, there's a reason for that. The American Civil War. One of the things that affected the outcome of the war was when one of the great generals of the South, General Jackson, known as Stonewall Jackson, was killed by his own people, accidentally, of course. My hero is part of that. The historical events in there, and there are about 4 or 5 of them. Oh, Benjamin Franklin is part of it. Edison is part of it. And what I did for that is I jumped into the historical event. Now, remember, you are everywhere. You are everything. I became a Mongol. I was riding with the Mongols. I became a Christian in Jerusalem at the time. Talk about empathy. What could be better empathy than being yourself with a different upbringing in a different world, riding through it as a daydream. But the difference is it's a controlled daydream. It's a control. And people, one person asked, well, if you go into another self, let's say, who can fly, and I suppose in one universe maybe people have hollow bones like birds and can fly. I don't know. I wouldn't bet against it. Infinity is infinity. Can you bring back that attribute here and fly? Well, no, you can't. You can bring back the idea of flying, but you won't be able to fly. First of all, you won't have hollow bones. You fly and you're going to take a fall if you try. So if you do try, don't do it from a height any more than a couple of inches. I don't recommend it. You're not bringing back the actual thing, the actual, let's say, ability. You're bringing back the rhythm of it. I hope you understand it when I say you're bringing back the rhythm. When I paint something, when I painted that painting right there, not the abstract, but the Van Gogh. You know, I'm just beginning to consider myself an artist. I've never been an artist. The first time I ever painted, the first time I picked up a brush, I think I mentioned it a dozen times, I was 78 years old. I didn't know what I was doing. But by going into a doppelganger who did know what he was doing, I got into the rhythm of the thing. It gave me the motivation, and I brought it back. Now, that didn't mean that I learned how to paint. I didn't. My first paintings were more like that abstraction that you see. They were a bunch of mishmash. But I learned. I learned how to apply a brush. I taught myself. I never took lessons, never read a book about the subject. But I enjoy doing it myself. Same with the piano. I never took a lesson on the piano. I don't intend to. So that's what quantum jumping get you. But understand that what you're bringing back is the rhythm of it. But for children, wow, it's wonderful for children. Let them use that daydreaming mechanism that they use all the time anyway for recreation, but let them use it for creativity, for creation. Okay, that's about it for now. Let me know what it is that you're interested in. I'll be talking on the other blog about the octaves of life next week. So tune in over there. That's most of you know what that blog is. That's blog.theamericanmonk.com. So that's it for now. Thank you very much. See you next week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.